Hello, welcome to Let's Talk Tottenham. Not a very great result yesterday, but not a bad result if you look at the result just off at that, away to the best other team in the group and away from home, get a draw, but the performance not that great. Got a message early doors. Hi there, thanks for watching. Got a great panel again. Hopefully Brian Daigle's join us a bit later, but I'll introduce the panel. Eujin, how are you doing, sir?
Fine. Don't have to call me sir, Chris. Yeah, I get a bit shy when you do that, right? So I blush a lot. Yeah.
Madam.
No. Madam would be worse, right? I have to grow my hair, braid it up. Yeah. But
Spursuasian TV as well. Tell us about that.
Spursuasian TV. I do a channel for the Spurs fans from Asia, right, to link them up with the fans across the world, especially the ones in the United Kingdom, the home fans, and the ones around the world. We have a lot of Spurs fans around the world, right? Usually we do a show on Sunday. It's usually on 1 p.m. GMT, but this Sunday I'm doing it a bit earlier because I'm having Ankit from Almighty Blues FC. He's joining me for a preview, but he'll be on for about an hour or so. So he has requested a smaller panel, right? Because you've seen my shows. My shows has got too many people on it. So I don't want to put Ankit in the middle and, like 8 Spurs fans around him, and that would be intimidating.
They done that to me last night. I had 3 Chelsea fans.
I went on the Spurs Chelsea channel yesterday as well, and I was outnumbered. Held my own.
Yeah. But and of course I do the midweek show with one of the India Spurs boys. They come on regularly, so we're building from the Asian side, building it up. And one of these days, maybe all of us, when all this is over, we'll make a trip over to the to the home ground.
Excellent.
To a visit. Yeah.
Definitely. Bob, fresh from being accidentally blocked by me, again, apologies.
I remember that.
The whole accident.
You didn't see on the stream because I started it out well, but I panicked quite a bit there. Going, oh my God.
No, you didn't start it out at all. You were like, so what do you think of Spurs then? What do you think of Spurs then?
That's why I'm still an amateur on this. But yeah, Bob Spur TV. People don't know about that. Where can they find that?
Yeah, YouTube, Bob Spur TV. Doing a couple of shows at the moment per week. Got my In the Wall show tomorrow night, which should be interesting. Preview the Chelsea game and looking back at the week. And yeah, so Bob Spur TV. Great to be on the show with yourself, Mr. Magnum PI. Tommy, and
do you know what? Lord, you're talking about blocking. Eugin. I should have blocked you all this week. You got it going, man. You got it going. But Mr. Pringles is the best one. Mr. Pringles is the best.
I thought Burt Reynolds was a better one.
Oh yeah. Someone mentioned that, and yeah.
Cody.
Need the hat.
And then on to Mr. Pringle. Tommy, how you doing? TTV, your channel. Where can people find that?
Yeah. Tommy Talks Ball. Head over there. I do pretty much. It's Spurs talk. It's mainly Spurs talk, but I try and get neutrals on too. Like tonight, for example, I should have a Chelsea boy on. He asked me. He keeps messaging me. I message him back, and he hasn't messaged back. So I should have just gone with Ankit. Because he's brilliant. I was on the Ankit show last night. I know Eugene's going to do something with him Sunday, but there should be a preview with a Chelsea fan tonight. If not, it's all Spurs. But Chris, thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem.
Neutral stuff
all
too.
Three, you're always welcome on.
And you do a lot of neutral stuff too. I saw a show with you last week with the neutral stuff too, and I love them. We need that. We need to get out of the Spurs headspace sometimes, especially the last week. Do you know what? Next week's going to be all neutral. If we lose to Chelsea, if we get spanked, it's all neutral from me. So but before anything, make sure you like, subscribe. If you're watching live, if you're watching on the recorded version, I know a lot of people watch on the recorded version. It's a difficult time for some people. So make sure you smash that like and subscribe.
Yeah, all three channels, Eugene, Bob, Tommy, in the description. If you're listening to the audio or any podcast, it'll be in there as well. Hit those likes, hit those subscribes and the notification bell on all three channels. And I recently got up to 100 subscribers, pretty pleased with that. But true Chris Tarrant, who wants to be in millionaire mode, we don't want to give you that. We want 200. So hit those subscribes, hit those likes. And yeah, it all helps the channels grow, and do the same for Eugene, Bob, and Tommy's as well. Right, let's get down to it. This is normally a preview show on Friday, but we've got to talk about the Rennes result, 2-2. Is it a good result? Ignore the performance side of things for the moment. Is it a good result, being that they're the best other team in the group, gone away from home, and we haven't lost to them? Eugene, is it a good result, barring the performance, ignoring that?
I think the result should be accepted by the fans, right? We are away. And of course, barring the performance, to tell the truth, the first half, Rennes weren't actually playing football. They were actually playing kick the legs, right? Chop them down, okay? Yeah. And the referee let it go, right? For the whole of first half, our players were being chopped down. So, beyond that, I think I'll accept it. 2-2.
Yeah. I mean, Bob, in terms of the result and the performance, what do you make of it all?
It was
that pretty much sums it up. I mean, you don't need to say anything else.
Yeah. It does, though, doesn't it, man? It was when the first 11 was announced. I don't know if I speak for majority of the fans, but there was a team there that we thought, you know what, good on Nuno. We're going a bit more attacking. We've got a team there that should be able to beat Rennes. But as usual, for 15, 20 minutes, we attacked, we looked good, and they just went into our shells. Yeah, we had a couple of injuries. But man, I don't know. You know, I got asked a question yesterday by Sim when we are Tottenham, and he agreed with me when he asked the question. You know, are you happy the way we rallied on at the end? We shouldn't be rallying against. With all due respect, we shouldn't be rallying against a team like this. We should have that authority to take charge in the game, put our stamp on the game, especially with the players we started with. The injuries came at a later stage. Yeah, you know, looking back, stand back, look at the bigger picture. Yeah, a point away from home is good. We should beat them at home. But it's the follow-on from the Palace game and the 3 wins on the trot that we got, which, you know, does seem like it has cracked over a couple of cracks. I'm sure we'll touch on it later on. But for me, I just don't want us to get into a rot. We lost against Palace. We drew yesterday. What Chelsea come off, we lose that. I don't know, man. I just don't want this to be a start of a rut. And but yeah, well, unfortunately, not so many positives out of yesterday's game, apart from Ndombele, who was just slightly less shit than the rest of the shit bunch.
Right. Okay. I didn't actually watch the game because I couldn't find a stream. I only watched the 5-minute highlights on BT.
Good on you.
Yeah, we've got a message here. Death in the spotlight. Welcome to the show. It's a good result, yes. Performance quite worrying. No decent fullbacks and struggle to control midfield. Hard to watch. I mean, Tommy, your stream yesterday, I was on there for a little bit. You were asking the question of the panel, who should start and everything like that. Were you happy with the lineup? And in terms of fullbacks, it's quite obvious that the ones who are going to play against Chelsea, Reguilon especially, aren't going to start in that game. But do you agree with that comment there? Struggle to control midfield. Obviously, Ndombele had a good game in comparison to the rest of the team. But do you think controlling the midfield and the fullbacks or the defence in general was an issue yesterday?
Yeah, I mean there was a lot to be down about. Firstly, of course, they look like the best team in the group stage, Rennes, and you know they are on paper. Definitely, they are on paper. But if you look a little bit closer on paper, they weren't playing Doku. Without Doku, they've got nothing. I've looked at their form in Ligue 1. The last 2 games, they lost 2-0 against Amiens and Rennes. Rennes at home in 5 games the only victory. Without Doku, this Rennes team are poor, especially in the attacking third. So I was like, look, this could be 0-0, this could be 1-1, but they're scoring 2 goals when they haven't scored a goal in the last 2 games without Doku. Is problematic. And they didn't have their other best player either, Terrier, another winger on the left. They had both of their wingers missing, and they still. I'm not going to say they schooled us. I think we were the better side for the most part, but it was terrible. I mean, when I done a preview last night, I got the defense right. Rodon, Tanganga, Doherty, Davis, but the rest I've got completely wrong. I can't believe Skip played. I can't believe Skip played with his injury. He was like 50% at best against Palace. That's why he had his worst game for us so far. Bergwijn, I don't know, was he 60-40 in that game? 70-30? It's not hindsight. Yeah,
I was surprised he started, and then he obviously went off injured, didn't he, after half an hour or so. So I'm not sure if that was, like Eugene said, because they were kicking him and everything like that, and he wasn't fully ready, or he's twisted something and wasn't ready to come back. But I was surprised he started.
But Tommy,
if he went off against Palace, and you got Chelsea on Sunday, you don't play Bergwijn. No. You just don't play Bergwijn or Skip. There's no chance. No chance.
Tommy,
Lucas had to play.
Question for you, Tom. And it's worrying as well, mate, because they look dangerous out wide.
Exactly.
And they've got their two best wingers missing. And
without a shadow of a doubt.
Exactly. Do you think? And that's what worried me, man.
Do you think that's a formation issue? Lily White Views coming here. Welcome to the show again. Nuno needs to ditch 4-3-3, move to 4-2-3-1. He's also said he's made his mind up about him personally as well. I'm assuming by that.
Tweets this morning.
I'm assuming by that ominous message, it's not. I want him to stay forever. But Eugene, going back to the formation, do you think that's an issue with a 4-3-3 and he needs to move back to a 4-2-3-1, or do you think it's just the players aren't good enough, and in whatever system there is, certainly in a defensive thing, letting chances come to a team who are missing their two best attacking players?
Yeah. Remember I said, no Davis, please. No Davis. I've been saying no Davis all this while, right? But what I see now, what he played yesterday was actually more of a very versatile way that he's been doing it. He's been doing it the 4, and it changes from 4-3-3 to 4-2-3-1 all the time. You can see it in the game, the whole game. Sometimes when you see Skippy and Ndombele playing the 2, right? Then you get the 3 and the 1 with Kane in front. But sometimes when it falls back to another way, it becomes a 4-3-3. So down to it, right? It's just the squad. We're not good enough. That's it. Bottom line, our squad is, I don't want to swear, you know what I mean.
Right? 10 minutes. So, 10 minutes is gone. 10 minutes is gone, and on 8 minutes, Bobsville already said shit, so it doesn't matter.
Don't worry about it, Eugene.
I checked it.
Mr. K, when I done one, Mr. K was like, "You've swore 4 minutes, 8 minutes, and 9 minutes." He's like, "You can't swear in the first 10 minutes." I was like, "Well, now you tell me, mate. Now you tell me."
Yeah, but come down to it.
Of course, yeah.
And come down to it, I think Nuno is starting to panic. Do you know when he subbed Kane and when that goal went in, right, there was a shot of Lloris and Kane, the second goal, when Golini parried it out and then Labrador ran past Davis to score the second goal. There was a shot to Kane and Hugo. And you can see the face on Kane, it just went like glazed again, you know. That kind of, he's like saying, in his mind, he's like saying, you know, okay, it's not good. That kind of scene, you can see it in his eyes. But when Højbjerg came back on, and Højbjerg played in defense, midfield, and he was the striker too. So big up to him. That's the only thing I can say.
I mean, his goal was very good. But going to Kane, Bob, I didn't realise, I only saw this on Twitter, he's now our record European appearances holder, which is good for him and pleased for him. I was a little bit surprised he played, but then when I thought about it and saw he got taken off after 54 minutes, that's just a fitness thing to get him ready for the Chelsea game, keep fitness in his legs. So I wasn't too fussed about that. But how do you think he played on the night? Obviously, a lot of his play is determined by his service. I did read that he was coming super deep, which wasn't great. But how do you think he did? And
I think one of the reasons he went off, it was Bergwijn went off, Lucas went off, and then Nuno thought, I ain't fucking risking this. I ain't risking Kane as well. Let's just get you off. I mean, I'm gonna because I've got a phone call coming, but I just want to get this out of the way. Kane had a shit performance, right? But he's allowed a shit performance. He's allowed to go through a poor run of form because every player does. But there will be fans out there, I mentioned it on Eugene's show yesterday, there will be fans out there who will point the finger at him and say, you know what, Kane, your heart's not in it, your commitment's not there. And they can back it up, they can back up their argument now because of his early season actions. There will always be that finger pointing. But, and I'm sick and tired of treading on eggshells, we need to stand back and look at the bigger picture. Nuno hasn't got a squad to play with. Nuno isn't, he seems a bit miserable. Kane's looking around thinking, why are the club wanting me to stay with this bunch here? Hugo, what has my loyalty of 10 years to this football club brought me? Stand back, look at the big picture. Daniel Levy and Enoch are a bunch of fuckers who are constantly holding this club back. And we've put Levy and Enoch to one side because they've played the smoke screen with a Paratici and a Nuno. Again, forgetting that the fact we're waiting 70 odd days for a manager to come in because of their indecisiveness. The board have constantly held this club back. We've got to a certain stage. We've got to the constant top 4 finishes, the title challenges. We never built. We've always fucking rebuilding, and now that's exactly what we're doing now. We're at a point of a rebuild. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. I'm sorry. We should have built. We've had 4 or 5 perfect opportunities to build. When we finished second, when we were constantly finishing top 4, when we finished runners-up, officially the second best team in Europe, when we've had in peak Poch period when we had all those players, that was a time to build, not fucking rebuild. No point in getting to a certain level then starting the rebuild again. We've never kicked on, and the board, Levy, Enoch have failed to do so. And when you stand back, and are you really surprised with the lack of depth we've got, with the lack of quality we've got? No, we've never taken advantage of our clout, of the fact we've got to a certain caliber. We've never flexed our muscles in the transfer window when we've had the chance. And we can't say we've not spent the money, because we've spent the money. We've broken the summer transfer window twice in a season. If we'd just gone the extra 5-10 million, we could have got players in who could have taken us to the next level. And anyone who argues with me saying the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Grealish, Dybala, just them 3, Skriniar, wouldn't have taken us to the next level, I'll call you out and say you're bullshitting and you're living in a dreamland. We've never kicked on. So enough for Nuno. Questions have to be asked. There's a difference between asking a question of Nuno and wanting him out. I've got every right to ask him what the fuck were those changes against Palace. It doesn't mean I want him out. I want to know why. And a completely different reason, the bigger reason, is the reason we're here, the reason why we're so disappointed because of a 2-2 against Rennes, about not showing up against a Palace, about having no players going to Chelsea game, is because of Levy, there you go, Levy and Enoch, because of their constant holding us back when we've had the chance to build. No, let's do a fucking other rebuild again.
Yeah, well, I think most people can agree. There'll obviously be people who disagree with you, but I'll bring someone on who I know will back you up. Mr. Daigle, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, and no matter whether Bob's right or wrong, I will always back him up. That is my brother, and what a great time to join. As I heard in mid-round, it's fantastic. It's great to see you guys. And Tommy, it's the first time I've seen the Tash without the cap on. And what have you done? What have you done, bro?
I've got. Do you know what I've been doing all morning? I've been running. Well, yeah, that as well. But no, I've got a Tash-related quiz coming Sunday. So,
yeah.
So get ready. Like stateside. You can't come now, Brian. Obviously, you're not in the States. Well, North America. But no, I'm joking. Everyone's invited. But yeah, there's a little quiz coming on Sunday. But
looking forward to it. How's everyone else doing? How are you, Eugene?
Yep, doing well here. But emotionally, it's not too well.
Yeah.
People need to speak about it. People have stopped talking about the whole Levy and thing, and of course, people who do are suddenly putting this. There is a bandwagon. People go, "Oh, there's a Levy bandwagon." Unfortunately, now there's this negative bandwagon. You can't say anything against Levy, Nuno, or the board. Of course not, because you're in that negative camp. Fuck that, man. I'm a supporter of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club for 40 years. If I've got an issue with Levy, with Enoch, with Nuno, I will fucking say it. I don't need to be on a bandwagon. I've got every right to say it. So
listen, mate, I think I started the bandwagon 14 years ago, and I'm not stopping. As people know, with all the things I've done, I have been very, very consistent in this, and a lot of people criticise me for doing it. But it's like when it was the Super League, everything was anti-Levy, anti-Levy, anti-Levy. But now we've had this little time lapse. People forget the manager debacle. People forget the transfer window. And now they start blaming Nuno because he's not getting the results. He hasn't got strength in depth. What do you expect? And yeah, like I said just now on We Are Tottenham TV, the NFL protests are massive, are absolutely massive because the audience it's going to attract. But yeah, what Bob was just saying before when I came on, he's bang on the money. I just saw Bob. I've just been onto your Twitter to see like you were saying, and that guy even just says, "Oh, goodbye." I mean, what I hate is people try to call it, but when you can back it up, they're like, "Oh, I don't know what to say now. You're pathetic. Goodbye." And I'm like, "Oh,
I think that's probably happened to all of us. Certainly happened to me.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you want to debate, we've all got streams here. If you want to debate, come on the stream and then say it rather than hiding behind a keyboard. But they won't, will they? Because they've got nothing to say. And then when you back stuff up with facts or stats or whatever, they've got nothing to say and then just insult or run off.
But that's the sad thing about it, isn't it, Chris? Is the fact we're sitting there going, they. You know, it's we, isn't it? It's we as a Spurs fan. It should be a we. It should be we can disagree with this. But there's this narrative, which unfortunately, and I have to say this, has started off by the people who can't accept criticism against Levy and Enoch. They want to separate. I'm quite happy. You find majority of the people who want Levy and Enoch out can sit there and have a healthy and constructive and intellectual debate about why we've got our grievances against Levy and Enoch. Whereas the people who are saying, no, you're negative, your hashtag negative Levy, it's them who seem to be jumping on the bandwagon and can't back it up. They can't back up an argument. And exactly what happened today with my thoughts on Nuno, when I started putting some facts out there, it was a case of, you're pathetic, bye-bye. That was it.
Yeah. The two biggest situations, we can be called negative. The streamers and non-streamers, whether you're on Twitter, any form of social media, is the fact that it was the lack of depth. Yep. It was the lack of depth. We got crucified for that. Yeah, by the end of the window, everyone's saying, "Oh, wait to the end of the window. Wait to the end of the window." Nothing happened. And then you've got the negativity that came before the Palace game, because we'd won 3 games. And everyone was like, "Oh, what are you talking about? We've won 3 games. Nuno's got manager of the month." You can see that football would break down. We got fortunate against Wolves. We didn't play that well against Watford. Other than the goals, what chances did we really create? And we lost to Pacos. And you can say Pacos is the first game of the season, but that was our depth. We still had Lo Celso and Ramiro playing in that game. That was our depth. And that was before the window closed. So you get the depth in. When you're losing 1-0 to Pacos, get a few more numbers in there. Even if it's a backup striker, even if it's a Llorente, for fuck's sake, get someone in there. Because Kane came off. People are saying he may be injured, he may not be injured. He will be injured at some stage before Christmas. So the shit's hitting the fan now. This is just the start. This is nothing yet. Wait when we play Christmas, when we're in Christmas playing 3 games a week, then we really will be looking at our depth. If you want to be a top 4, top 6 team, losing 2 games on the bounce, you're in trouble. So
I'll be 5 minutes, buddy. All right.
Okay, no problem.
a couple of... I just want to touch. Sorry, Chris. There's just I want to touch on with what Bob Spur was just saying before about the divide. Bob Spur has been saying this since the Super League. He's done an open invitation for Levy and people to come in and have their say. And the one thing I will say, as much I love Bob like a brother, I can't wait to meet him. He is become someone so close and special to me. That there's not a channel I'd rather go on as a Levy in to have him hosting it, because the way he does his In the Wall and the way he does his shows is fantastic. I understand. I've asked it on Tottenham away and Tottenham on tour. Now I can understand with me why there's a bit of, I don't want to go on that show because they think I'm going to be aggressive and rip them to pieces, which I've always said I wouldn't do. If we get Levy in, I will debate. I've got my views. I'll never be personal or anything, but Bob Spur's been saying this since the Super League. To have someone come on, and I think he's got someone next week for an In the Wall special, which I'm going to be a part of. I should be actually with Bob, so I'll be actually with him, not just camera to camera. I'll be on the same camera as him. I'll be with him.
Okay, that'd be nice.
And there is not a person I'd rather go on, because Bob Spur will call it down the middle. He will not gang up, and thankfully, this Levy in person, I don't know who he is coming in. And do you know what? Big up to him for coming on and having a discussion. Because like you said, they all put it in the comments. They all criticise. But when it's like, here's a link to my show, come on, they go missing. So yeah. So when it comes to that, people have got to start coming on the shows because
I think so.
Rather than just writing stuff and thinking they're doing their job, come and prove us wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, none of us, we're all podcast hosters or stream hosters, so it just doesn't make sense, does it, to have your opinion, have someone on with the opposite opinion and just shoot them down as like a trap to come on. So,
yeah,
but people won't. But let me just get through a few comments. Lily White, Spurs. People need to accept Kane doesn't want to be there. You can't blame him. Look at the last couple of performances. They're the kind of performances that have made his mind up. Unfortunately, I think that's bang on the money. Death in the spotlight. I do feel bad for Nuno because Mourinho's success was always in a hide into nothing. Too much deadwood. I mean, we've literally said that on pretty much every stream going. And Tommy, I think a little tip for you next time you're going to change your appearance drastically. You need to warn people. You've got a few. Been scalped.
Mate, it makes me unique. It makes me unique. So it's saying my girlfriend is so against it. You think it's bad on the chat. My girlfriend is so against it.
I'm not sure this comparison is what you're going for, but
Bronson,
sure
go on, man. Tom Hardy.
Hey. This is becoming the YouTube equivalent to when Beckham got a haircut at United.
What it is, Tommy is an unbelievable. Tommy's an unbelievable marketer. That's what it is. You're the talk of Tottenham Twitter. That's what it is.
Yeah. Kellogg's, come at me. I haven't got any sponsorships. They manufacture Pringles, don't they? They manufacture Pringles. Yeah. Kellogg's, come at me. I haven't got any sponsors currently on my show. I have hit the 1K subs. A lot of that was down to Son. But yeah, come at me.
You need to email them, mate. You need to send something an email.
Bronson, I'll tell you what, Bronson is one of my favourite films. When Tom Hardy plays, that is one of my favourite films. It's a Sin. It's a Sin tune when all the sort of mental patients. That's brilliant. That is one of the best movie scenes ever.
I have to admit as well, you got to email because I'm going to talk yours and my language now. I'm going to talk WWE for 1 second. When The Rock came back to host WrestleMania and he called John Cena Fruity Pebbles, the money he got from Fruity Pebbles for sponsorship, I think you might be onto a winner, bro. I think you've got to go, look at this. I've done this in honour of you, Pringles. I'm a big fan. I can't stop eating your crisps. Do you need someone to deputise? Get your face on the Pringles, mate. Get your face on the Pringles.
As long as they're not associated with Tottenham, I should be all right because I'm getting more and more Levy out. We know they blacklist a few channels that do. So, as long as I stay away from that and there's no association there, I think I might be all right. But I just want to mention one thing. When Bob was talking about the rebuild. Now, this is the biggest issue. You know, rebuild, players come in, players come out. But when you're at the top, 15, 16, 17, when we're actually in the title races, that is when you sign players and you look to the future, and you look to the future. That's what Man City are doing. That's what Liverpool are doing. A current good team, they build 3 transfer windows without signing around that period. That's the indication. That's the indication of a chairman and an owner that doesn't care. They're not really there to win the titles. As long as they're in and around the top 4, top 6, they're happy. But now we're not in the top 4 or top 6, so now they have to spend money. Grealish, we talk about Grealish. I'm not going to keep going on about, but 20 million, I think. We wouldn't pay the extra 5 million. We wouldn't have had to pay. I know Ndombele played well last night. 60 million pounds. Lo Celso effectively 40 million pounds. So 100 million pounds on 2 number 10s who haven't done it. And we could have picked Grealish up for a fifth of that. Terrible transfer decisions. Awful transfer decisions. That's why we are where we are.
There's a comment here, Tommy. You've got a new comparison, and I love it. You it is
oh, mate.
It is brilliant.
Can you sing the tune?
No, I'm not going to attempt that. I've got the lyrics, but I'm not going to attempt that. That's a different show. That's a different show.
Literally, that's a banging one. Right, well played, sir. Well played.
But guys, just one question, right? All of these things that's been happening the past 8 months or so from the ESL until now, we have seen how the fans have reacted We have broken up into factions, right? And all that. But somehow or another, do you think, right, us fans should be responsible for what's happening too? Because a lot of us let it happen, because like what happened in the first protest, remember? There wasn't enough of us down there to make a scene. That makes him more brazen. Correct. Tommy, you were there. Bobby was there, right? Big up to you two guys, right? It was horrific. But the thing is that deep down inside, as fans of Spurs, we must look, what is the problem? Are we so blind until that we have been hypnotized by the Levy PR smoke and mirrors show until that we accept it, right? It's like we are being preconditioned to accept this type of mediocre, no ambition kind of team. It's just because when Poch was there, right? Poch brought us to a different level. And Poch wanted to bring us to the next level. Guess what happened? He pulled the plug. Question, why? Right? Why? Why did he pull the plug?
Yeah, Ryan is pretty much spot on with you there, and pretty much just said in a sentence what you've said there. Today have to do is gone for this club. We fans need to do more against ENIC. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the game, we could talk about ENIC and the transfers all day, but it's been pretty much mentioned on every stream and that any of us do, because it's such a glaringly obvious issue. But in terms of the transfer window's closed until January, so we can't do anything about it until then, unfortunately. But we have got a squad. Whether it's a good enough squad or not is, beside the point. But in terms of yesterday's game, we got Chelsea. Did anyone, Eujin, play themselves into Chelsea contention? The only one I can think of is Ndombele, but again, like Bob said, he played well, but only in comparison to the rest of the team. People like Doherty, I saw there was a flying header from someone in the first half, and he just stood there while the guy he put it wide in the end. But the desire was there, not there from Doherty. But for you, did anyone put themselves into contention?
To tell the truth, those who are not in the first team regularly for the past 3 or 4 games, I think, like I said, no Davis, okay, please, right? Doherty to me was that he has his laps, okay, but somehow or another he did show some attacking flair down the wings yesterday, right? He did bring the ball forward. That's one thing. That's one positive for Doherty, okay, and he did do the cross that created the second goal for Højbjerg and all that. But I won't play him again, right? Emerson came on.
He's going to start, isn't he? Because Tanganga's injured.
That is my worry.
Not injured,
Emerson,
suspended.
Yeah. So that's my worry, that if Emerson has to come on, right? I hope that, because at least now he gets more playing time with the team, to have a chemistry with the boys around him, to have an understanding what to do. Okay. And you must remember, yesterday Emerson came on. He played more of a right wing, right? He was on the right, right winger, right winger, more than the right back, because Doherty was playing right back, right? And they interchanged. When Doherty went up, Emerson stayed back. You see, and sometimes Emerson even ran into the middle with the ball.
You know what? Usually, I just want to comment on that, because this shows how bad it is with our injuries that we have to play Emerson at the right of the front three. If we were going to do that, why didn't you just do that at the beginning and not risk Bergwijn? And just say, Joe, what, we're going to try something. Let's keep Bergwijn fit. But because we're so depleted, this is what we're having to do. I mean, I don't know if you
no choice.
about Bergwijn before I came on. I even said,
yeah, we did. We pretty much said exactly the same. Why was he playing?
He would have got away. He would have got away. Nuno would have got away with playing his second team yesterday night. He would have got away with it because of the injuries, because it's the first game in a group stage. You can win the points later on. The first game, if it was the last game and we needed 2 or 3 points to qualify, fair enough. But it's the first game.
But Tommy, he couldn't afford to lose. You must understand that. That's why he played the team the way that he played the team. He couldn't. But
we can afford to lose when we have no depth.
No, but the thing is that you already lost to Palace in that kind of way. If you went to Rennes, right, and you don't perform, and they didn't perform, but at least we scrapped out a draw. But if we got beaten there, right, imagine the morale going into Chelsea's game.
That's true, but if the players ain't fit, it doesn't matter about morale. If Lucas and Bergwijn aren't there and Skip aren't there, then their morale becomes meaningless because they're not playing. Because of these injuries and because Skip was half fit, Bergwijn was half fit after the Palace game. I felt like this was the time. Just play the youngsters. Do it later on. You could chuck a couple of first team players in there, but when you look at the lack of depth, it's problematic. It's a big problem going into the Chelsea game.
The truth. Remember, I was doing my show on Sunday or Wednesday with the India Spurs boys. I
watched a little bit of it. Yeah, I was a bit busy,
we were trying to figure out the back four. Who to put, and I was talking about even Omole being centre back with Tanganga. We were talking about maybe Fagan Walcott. We were talking about there's no Sessegnon, right? And I keep saying, please don't play Davis, right? Please don't play Davis. But what happens? He plays Davis. So, like you said, maybe he didn't have a choice. But the thing is that now it shows, right? We built a youth training ground, all that facility, right? And we are not getting the results we want from our youth. If our youth, right, example, Harvey Elliott for Liverpool, he's from the youth setup. He came out a baller. Sorry to say.
Well, he came from the Fulham set. He came from the Fulham setup. They bought him 2 years ago, but they can attract youngsters, the best youngsters in
England. We were linked with him,
and he refused us. He refused us. He said something bad about us, but I feel sorry for the kid. He's a very good player.
But we still for him. I mean, to tell the truth, right? He's 18. He breaks his leg like that, right? He might not recover again. He might not be the same player again. We will never know, right? At such a young age. But what I'm saying is that we don't have the youth to cover us.
Definitely not.
Our youth setup and our youth training, right, is not there. And you can see it when Dane Scarlett came on, right? How many chances did he have? He didn't go and try to create chances, right? He just stood there and waiting for the ball all the time. He
had one, didn't he, where Hill crossed it and the defender just
he didn't get the header. The defender got the header.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a chance to get. I mean, in response to your point, is what I meant. The chance. But it was a half chance, wasn't it? It's not a clear.
No, it wasn't a full chance. It's just a half chance.
Just to say, on a side note, that's right, mate. Just on a side note, Graham Roberts. This is where we are at the moment as a club. Graham Roberts and Jamie O'Hara are having a spat. Jamie O'Hara has blocked Graham Roberts because of a spat, and this is all stems from Levy, man. Sad times when Jamie O'Hara blocks me because he does not agree with something I said supporting my club, who says he supports. Jamie did not have the right mentality to ever make. Sorry? Yeah, Sadie did not have the right mentality ever to make it. It's just a sign of times to come, man. And I think Wayne Bonner says it spot on. We've never had the squad depth or quality backup since Levy, the man who knows all about football, has been in charge. No striker, no Cam, and exactly what Tommy said earlier. Wait till all the injuries start piling up. Just wait.
It's starting. No, waiting. It's restarted, Bob.
Injuries. Big up to these guys. Big up to these guys in the chat. The last three messages, especially. Ryan McFarlane puts, Tanguy cost us the first goal. His poor attempt at a tackle. We always look at the positives, but if we put Tanguy in against Chelsea, he's gonna get found out. Dele Alli scored an unbelievable Pele against Wolfsberger, but it's Wolfsberger. Do you know what I'm saying? And he didn't play every other part of his game against Wolfsberger was terrible. He done a nice flick, Tanguy. He had a great flick. You know what I'm saying? But it's sometimes not enough. And big up to Lily White Views, because he's just started out on YouTube too. He's a really good guy. I done a podcast with him at the start of last year. It was a Coys.com. They got a very good podcast. Very knowledgeable
Does
guy.
Anyone know Lily White Views' name?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
It's a myth.
I'm not sure.
None of us know your name. We big you up. We love. We've been on the show a couple of times, but we don't know what your fucking name is, mate. Let us know.
For the audio listeners, what they've said is, I prefer to see a training mannequin start over Doxy. Could probably cross the ball better. I know he set up the second goal, but it was a defence mistake. Yeah, it was a defender's mistake, and you've got your answer here, Bob.
There you go, Carl. There you go. Big up, big up.
But yeah,
Carl,
I mean,
Carl. Yeah.
We've got injury concerns. We've got more injuries with Lucas and Bergwijn. We've also got the issue of the South Americans, Romero, Sanchez, Lo Celso, which, you'd assume one of those, if not a couple or three, will start. But they're obviously, I think they're meant to be coming back today training. And I think Nuno said that he wants a training session on Saturday to get them tactically aware for Chelsea. I mean, it's what Wayne says. Big up to Wayne. He's always commenting on this show, every other Spurs show as well. Cheers, Wayne. Wait till the injuries start piling up. Not just injuries here as well, it's lack of fitness. We've got, if you include Bergwijn and Mora, and then the 3 South Americans, it's either an injury or lack of fitness coming against a team who are absolute banging form. So, Bob, I mean, will any of them start for you? Obviously, the injuries, we don't know about the injuries and how serious they are. If they're not that serious and they're fit, then they'll start, I would have thought, Mora and Bergwijn. And then Son, obviously. Can't believe I've forgotten about Son. Whether he was rested yesterday because he's starting against Chelsea and just not wrapping him in cotton wool. But do you see any of those 6 starting?
Yeah, I think if we don't play Sanchez or Romero, who are we left with? Davies and Rodon. Tanganga can't play. So I think we've got no choice but to play. Sim and Ben had, as they all know, they made a good point that I think we should play with a back 3. And I know Tommy's probably going to be the one to speak to about this because I know his views on a back 3. Just because we play on a back 3 doesn't mean we're going to be playing defensive. If anything, it gives without stating the obvious, it just gives the likes of Emerson and Reguilon, who are better going forward, a bit more of a chance to go forward. It's the question in midfield: do we play with a double pivot as well as 3 at the back? Sims very much on the fence. We need to play a double pivot because against the likes of Chelsea. I don't know, man. I think Lucas and Bergwijn. I wouldn't play Bergwijn even if he is. He's been out in. Just give him a week off. There's rumours that Sonny might be in. He might do a Man United. Remember, Jose. He was definitely not.
No. We cannot play Son. We cannot play Son.
There's a chance that he might be fit. I'd put him on the bench. I wouldn't.
We cannot risk him getting a big injury because apparently he's a backup striker and left winger. So
yeah. So for me, out of those 6, if there's 2 definitive people who I want to see in the starting lineup, has to be Romero and Sanchez, man. Has to.
Yeah, I've got to go, chaps. Yeah, I've got to go, chaps. Can I just say one thing before I go in terms of the backup talk? Now, Lo Celso could be coming back, right? So is Lo Celso our backup right winger now? Because we don't have a right winger. We saw it last night. We were forced to play Lucas. So we continue to have backup players that already have positions. So Lo Celso is our backup right winger, but he's a centre mid and we're dying out for a creative midfielder. Are we trying to unless we invest in cloning players? I don't know where we're going. Because Son is our backup striker, as I just said. But I want to touch on what Eujin said as well about the backup, the youngsters. For the youngsters to be our immediate backup, they're not ready because they haven't been given game time. But they are good enough. I think they're going to be good enough in the future. They have to be used wisely. They have to be used smartly. Scarlett as a straight backup striker, it's not going to work. He needs time. He needs rhythm, and that pressure to be the only backup striker is incredible in the best league in the world. So they need time. You've got to have the backup. You have to have first team backup in place and then bring the youngsters through. So I do agree in the large part of what Eugene says there. But Chris, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to come on your show.
Always welcome.
Cheers, boys.
Just before you go,
Tommy, just want to say I'm so proud of you, mate. You stopped saying the Chelsea. Big up on you.
Yeah, man. And I just said. Yeah, and Højbjerg. It's Højbjerg, isn't it? But talking about pronunciations, hold on a minute. I've heard you and Chris pronouncing Rennes as Rennes all show. It is Rennes. It is Rennes, right? Let's just get that down because we have got them again. We have got them again, yeah. We've got them again, so yeah.
I mean, Tommy, always a pleasure to have you on. Just before you go,
Cheers,
quickly plug your channel. Where can people find TTB?
Yeah, Tommy Talks Ball. I release content pretty much every day now. But I'm looking to get some more neutral stuff in. It does help. It does help when you're a Spurs fan. So, I'm trying to get as much neutral stuff in as I can. Tonight, I've got a preview. There should be a Chelsea guy on there. I'm not sure. He hasn't got back to me. He asked me to come on. But,
if you get
one of those things.
Tommy, If you get stuck, Tommy, let me know. There's a couple of lads on win last night. Absolutely amazing, mate.
Yeah, I've got Ankit as well. I've got some. I know some other Chelsea guys, but it's difficult because I only want one on because I don't want to be dominated on my own show. I don't want to be dominated by Chelsea fans on my own show. Do you know what I'm saying? It was bad enough on Ankit's last night. But cheers, guys. Thanks everyone in the chat.
Cheers for coming on. Thanks so much.
Been great. And Kellogg's, come at me, Kellogg's.
Cheers, Tommy.
So Chris, I just want to have my say on what the question was about. Did anyone impress and what you were doing? Now, I want to address, there's a few things I want to address, but the first thing I want to talk about is Tanguy and Dembele, who I tweeted the We Are Tottenham TV boys, who in their first 11 minutes created more than our entire squad has done in every single Premier League squad. And the thing is, people are criticising him for his defensive work and everything. Now, the thing is, we all know that's an issue. We all know, and it's like, can you go back to the days when we had Ginola and Rafa van der Vaart? You never had a Spurs fan say, oh, well, he doesn't track back. They knew this is what he does. And it was like Matt Letizia in Southampton. You knew he weren't going to give you that. So it's trying to get a system where he's not. And I think him with Højbjerg and Skip allowed him to do that. And I think he was sensational. I think we've got to keep him with his blonde hair because maybe it's peroxide blonde that we're doing. I think that's what we'll do it.
No, Brian, don't you think that sometimes the fan base just finds someone to be a scapegoat to focus
it happens with every single team, doesn't it? It's not just Tottenham. Every fan in every football team in the world has their own scapegoat. It's just that we seem to swap ours like
well, we have a lot of scapegoats, right? From last season. Aurier, Sissoko, now we got Tanguy,
What you got to look at as well with the rest of the squad is, like I said, I said it on your show, Chris. I've said it when I've been with Bob Spurs. I've said it on Eujin's show. I have no idea why Bergwijn. Me and Bob are huge fans of Bergwijn. Love him. I think there's a real talent. If he comes out and he says he's 50-50 in a group competition where there's 5 more games, and then you've got you've got Chelsea, Wolves, and the Filth. Then you've got there's so many games coming up because right now we're in 4 cup competitions, and 3 of them are ongoing. Obviously, right now the Premiership, the Conference League, and the Carabao Cup. Now, we've got to be careful here because we are strapped to bare bones. It's like I was saying with Son. If Son's kind of ready, do you play him now, or do you let him get a few more days and then play him against Wolves and see how he is ready for Arsenal? Because Moura, it's like now with Moura, if he's saying he's fit, he comes on and gets another whack. We're prolonging the injuries by risking it, and we're making our team weaker by putting our best players that are injured. We need them to do so much, and when they're injured, they're not. Whether they try their hardest or not, they're concerned that they're going to get another whack. They don't want to run at full pelt in case they stretch anything or do anything. And again, it comes down to strength in depth. I mean, the whole Bergwijn thing was just, I couldn't believe it. Like Bob Spurs said, I was going to comment on it when he was on We Are Tottenham TV, when Stell said about the lineup and everyone liked the lineup. I loved the idea of the lineup. I just hated that Bergwijn was there. If there had been another player in his position, whoever it may be, I'd be like, yeah, do you know what? That looks more attacking, more expansive. But the fact he was there, and you just knew it was going to happen. You just knew it was going to happen. So we've really got to, when we're in all these competitions, game management is vital. When you've got a depleted squad, it's like literally, it's fine. I mean, for me, Sanchez and Romero has to come in. Whether we play a back 5 or not, and as I was saying on We Are Tottenham TV, if you look at it, if we do go for a back 4, let's say it's Royale, Romero, Sanchez, Reguilon, there's going to be, even to help Romero in, they'll speak fluent Spanish the whole way through that game when they're talking to each other. So there's going to be no breakdown in communications, no language barrier. So that will help them in. I really hope Romero starts because he's the only one that I think's had any game time against Lukaku. And the boys were saying last season when he was up against Lukaku, Romero got the better of him. And Joe, like I said, I'm more concerned. I'm more hopeful that Romero and Sanchez are in to stop Lukaku than I am what we're going to do up top, because we might get a lucky goal anywhere, or Kane might show up, or whatever. The fans will help GM on. But if we don't have Davinson Sanchez and Romero in there, then I'm going to be very concerned with Lukaku. Very concerned.
Yeah, I mean, let me just read some comments out first. Wayne, Levy won't look at Scarlett as backup striker. He'll look at him someone who costs nothing or potentially make a hell of a lot of money in the future. It's also said Tanguy is not a defensive player. He's the player we allow to off the leash to pull the strings while others take up defensive duties. Pretty much exactly what you said, Brian, and Death in the Spotlight backs it up with. If we play Tanguy, we need Højbjerg, Skip behind him doing all the hard work. And in terms of the injuries, Jay Ashraf, welcome to the show. Is it Nuno's physical training that causing some of these injuries? I'm not sure about that. I think it's just the constant playing. And Wayne, back again. Back three or back four against Chelsea. I think I'd agree with you, Brian, with the back four, with Royale probably in because Tanganga's suspended. Romero, Sanchez, Reguilon to try and stop Lukaku there. And Romero's big and strong, isn't he? So you'd say probably you up against Lukaku, kick him early doors, show him he's in for a game. But one thing I wanted to ask you, Eujin, you're always positive on here, so this is the positive question for the positive person. Chelsea are going to attack us. So will that help us to be positive and attack? Because they'll open gaps trying to attack, and if we can nick the ball in the transition, obviously we don't know who's going to play, but let's say Bergwijn and Moura are playing or Son's playing, then we've got a bit of pace up there. Although I do think Bergwijn not playing, if he's not playing, he's the biggest miss because he will track back the most. But yeah, Chelsea inevitably going to attack us. Will that help us, Eujin?
To come to that, right, we'll have to look back to the MCT game and how MCT played against us and how we reacted towards MCT, right? But the problem now, we have lost our speed. Without Son, without Bergwijn, without Moura, we don't have speed at front. How are we going to play a counter-attacking game without speed?
Well, they may play, might they? We don't know the extent of the injuries at the moment.
Yeah, we do not know. If they do show up, my question is that I think if Bergwijn can't make it, right? Let's say we put Bergwijn out of this because he was hobbling off the pitch yesterday. Okay, are you gonna play Hill or Moura with Son? Let's say Son is around. Hill, Moura, Son, and Kane. How are you gonna make that combination work? Number one. Number two, Hill is more of a creative player, not based on speed, right? When you go into counter-attacking games, right, sit back and when you hit someone, you are playing with speed. Kane doesn't have the speed, right? The only person, let's say Son is playing, you're relying on Son, and the other person is Moura to go forward, right? So it's, to tell the truth, we can't make much of a decision right now, is that we do not know what squad we have. That is the biggest question that I have in my mind now. I can lay out the defense, okay? I can lay out the midfield, but at the moment now, I can't lay out my attacking players. The way Kane is playing nowadays, whether he's sulking or whether he's off form or whether he's, his heart is not in it. But based on the football way, as we see it, Kane is not performing. Let's say we are giving him some leeway that Kane is off form now, right? He hasn't got his form. Okay, are you going to play an off form Kane in that formation, or how are you going to do this? Okay. Stell, yeah.
There he is. There he is.
Next one.
There
You know what? I have to say, just changing the subject. I mean, I'm loving what I'm seeing. Have you seen all the palaver that's going on at Man City right now?
Yeah.
But listen, I heard him come out with this interview saying 38,000, great team, great support. And then obviously on TalkSport, a Man City fan went on and said we're all working class. Then on Sky Sports News this morning, I saw them come out and the Man City fans saying stick to managing. And now I've just seen it come on my phone saying Pep Guardiola won't apologise to the fans.
Yeah, he won't apologise.
For saying what he said. So I mean, are we seeing this unravel? I mean,
what made me laugh about that so much is that the fans said it's a Wednesday night, you can't expect us to come out. It didn't stop us getting 86,000 down for Real Madrid in Wembley, did it? So support your team. But half the Man City fans aren't in Manchester or anywhere near, are they?
Just shows what I've been saying, Chris. They're a classless, deluded bunch. They're there when on a final, or even then. They'll hold up the medals and stuff. They won't even know who's playing for Man City. I guarantee you there's some Man City fans who will call you Man City. Right, can you tell me 3 legends prior to, in the 1990s? Name me 3 players from the
Georgie
1990s.
Kentucky.
They wouldn't have a clue. They wouldn't have a clue, man.
I mean,
they're plastic fans. They've got no class. The manager's got no class. He's shit.
You got no fans?
Yeah, I wouldn't want Pep. I don't think he'd work it. One more thing on Twitter. Kirst has come on. Welcome to the show. I know you guys
I've
know
not
her.
seen
What's
that.
up,
Big up,
Kirst?
Kirst.
I haven't
Big up,
either.
Kirst.
For the audio listeners, not to be biased, I can't understand why Højbjerg has had so much hate online today when he scored the equaliser last night. Usually performs really well. I haven't seen that either. But if that is,
let's know what you've heard, babe. Let's know because we're not seeing.
If that is true, though, I'm not sure that's a bad thing because he seems the kind of guy that if he gets fired up, he's quite dangerous and performs quite well. So if he's seen all of that, then that might work in our favour, and he's really. I'll show you.
I have to say something about this as well because I said it on We Are Tottenham TV. It just shows how messed up we are at the moment. And I don't understand what world we're living in. Now, me and Kirst are two of the biggest Højbjerg fans you'll ever see. I idolise him.
Not as big as hers, mate. Not as big
No.
Not
She's
as big as
on
her,
different levels. I'm not that
she's on different
levels. She's a married man.
She's stalker level, psycho.
But
She's a bit of a psycho.
she's beside him. I have picked him up. I love this guy. I worship him. He's getting to Vertonghen and Gaza, like in my top 3 ever players. But what world are we living in that when Kane goes off and we give the captain the armband to Ben fucking Davies ahead of him? I mean, I was like, do you know what? I know he's been there longer, but if there's any, and I know all fans are crying out for it, that Pierre has to be the captain, like after Lloris and Kane, whatever. And I mean, what world do you live in where Ben Davies takes the captain's armband over Pierre? I mean, it just, even those kind of decisions, I'm like, what in God's name is going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Comments in the chat about Pep as a checkbook manager. Every manager's a checkbook manager. He built Barcelona. I'm not sure he built Barcelona. He was blessed with the brilliance.
Rijkaard and Cruyff.
But he needs.
Rijkaard and Cruyff had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, but I do think he needs. So I'll agree with Tottenham away. Death in the spotlight. And Tottenham away, that he needs those players already in the team, or he needs the amount of money that Man City have to be able to bring in whoever he wants. But
would he be able to do a Sean Dyche at Burnley? That's my question. Would Pep be able to?
Or he wouldn't be able to do a Klopp at Liverpool, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, that's why we need to get we need to get Pep to Spurs. You know why? We will destroy him.
Yeah, we will. Yeah,
we will destroy him.
Another comment. Anyone who studied Pep knows his class and just hating on him because he wanted Kane. I mean, I do think. Top managers don't touch Burnley.
Yeah, because they're chicken shit.
Top managers don't touch Tottenham, unfortunately.
One last question before we get into predictions and then finish the stream. I'll ask you, Bob. Being that Nuno won the first 3 games, obviously there was some not anger there, but disappointment there because of the way that it happened. But fans will generally accept it if you're winning, which we were. But he's obviously lost the Palace game with an awful performance. And Rennes, is that how you pronounce it? Don't want Tommy to tell me off next
Tommy's
time.
not there anymore. We call him whatever
and then after that, which there's criticism there. Is this a huge game for Nuno after the Palace game and the Rennes game? And the fact that we have the North London derby after this. And I can't remember who said it, you don't want to go into a vat of losing a couple of games and then you get into the North London derby, you lose that. So is this the biggest game of the 3, in your opinion?
Yeah, Stel, I know he's in the chat. I know he's winding me up with Pep, but he's the one who said it, mate. He's the one who said, we don't want to be getting into a rut because we've had the 3 wins, but then lose against Palace. And I still say, and I know Stel agrees with, he does agree with this, he could have just made 2 changes.
Yeah.
2 changes in that Palace game. We could have gone in. All we needed was a Rodon to come in for a Sanchez and a Hill in for a Sonny. Regardless of what I think of Sonny and a Rodon, what I want to see was consistency. We could have gone into that game with having just made the 2 changes. And I guarantee, not many things you can guarantee, but certainly guarantee a better performance. Might not have won, but certainly get. So... And then we've drawn against Rennes. I'm going to say however I want. And then we have Chelsea. We have Chelsea, Wolves. Does he play his best team against Wolves? I very much doubt it. And then we've got the Gooners. That's 5 games. We could go 5 games without a win, man. And I mentioned it to Stel yesterday. Stel's like, yeah, that's Nuno gone then. That was his exact words. We'll go 5 games without winning, possibly 3 defeats in those, possibly 4. There's every chance, and there's a part of me that will agree with Stel, saying Nuno will be under. It's a Chelsea game anyway. It's an important game. It's a big game regardless. With our last 2 performances, it's become even a bigger game, and I agree with Stel that again, it's not because I want Nuno out. We're just talking about how it will be, the situation it will build to. If we go next 5 games, we'll sit 2 games into the 5 game I'm on about, without winning, Nuno's going to be under so much pressure. And all these people who are saying give Nuno time, I pretty much guarantee at least 75% will be on that same bus.
Yeah, I mean, back to the manager situation, Wayne. Pep, Conte, Mourinho, all managers who spend money to bring in the players to gain success but don't work for it. Agree with Bob, absolutely, with the Dyche comparison. I know who I'd prefer.
Big up, Wayne.
We need the kind of Dyche player, but it doesn't, because of the owners that won't spend that money. You need coaches and you need people who are going to build. Tottenham away have said, I mean, I think you've pretty much answered this, Bob, in your next 6 games. Chelsea, Wolves, Arsenal, Villa, West Ham United. Could Nuno be sacked if he loses all 6? I think if you go on a run like that, I mean, you're really doing that. But yeah, just before we wrap up, Eujin, predictions for the game? I can't give score predictions. It's too much tempting fate, and if I get it right and I haven't put a bet on, it's even worse. So feel free to put scores on or just a prediction of how you think the game will go. But we'll start with you,
Eugene. Of course, being a Spurs fan, we want Spurs to win, right? But realistically, if we draw, I'll be very happy, right? I wouldn't matter. It would be a 3-3 draw, 2-2 draw, 1-1 draw, 0-0 draw. I'll be happy, right? I think I just hope we don't just get smashed. That's all.
I think
that says it all, Eugene, man. That says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's all.
I mean, Tottenham away. Poch and Ramos got sacked in November after losing several games in a row. So, if that happens with Nuno, history's there to tell you that. But Brian, predictions?
So I just want to touch on what Stel's saying about with the next 6 games. What you got to remember as well, which is not going to make the fans very happy and it could really work against Nuno, is let's say we do lose against Chelsea and I'll do my prediction, and then Arsenal win against Burnley and then the filth beat us. That 9-point lead we're all banging on about is nothing. Is absolutely nothing. And I think if that happens, and pray to the gods that it doesn't, then I think you're really, really, really good. And yes, Nuno will deserve a lot of criticism, but as I've been saying, and as Bob was saying as well, people stop blaming Nuno. Don't look at the dugout. Look above the dugout, and there's someone there that you need to direct the hatred at. I'm going for a Spurs win. And the only reason I'm going for a Spurs win, and I'm saying 3-1, is, and actually Ben and Simeon added another one to it, I'm very superstitious when it comes to these things, and I don't have any rituals myself, but I believe in the fixtures. Now, if you look at it, when Harry Kane burst on the scene on New Year's Day, we won 5-3, when Jose Mourinho's team was at the races. Then a few years later with Poch and Conte, when they were on that back of that longest beaten run.
Dele Alli 2 headers.
With Dele Alli with 2 from Ericsson. And then what Simeon added was when we beat them 3-1 at Wembley, it was Sarri's first defeat. And these are all home games. Now, like we said with Man City, I said before the Man City, we just seem to have their number at home. And that is the only reason I'm saying the Spurs win, because of superstition. And that's it. I mean, if we win, and obviously it's my first game at the new stadium, it's going to be a wonderful experience. I'm going to meet so many YouTubers. I'm going with Danny Danny Kiri, and I'm going to be sitting with the boys from We Are Tottenham TV and Grandpa. Can't wait to meet Grandpa. I'm going to see Stel for the first time in 20 years, face to face.
I'm sorry about that. So
it's going to be a wonderful thing. But I'll tell you what, I said before that we needed a good game or performance yesterday to at least have the fans being more buoyant and confident going in, because after the Crystal Palace game, and it hasn't, I don't think it's helped. And then if we get off to a bad start, that ground could turn. And if it's a Tonkin, I will be very, very vocal. Very, very vocal. Directing it at one person and one person only. But I'm only going for a Spurs. I'm going to say 3-1. But it's only solely down to the superstitious side of me.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to take a screen grab, Brian, but you want to take him up on that if that's the case. Brian, if we beat Chelsea, I'll buy you dinner.
I just bring it in. We've got you guys as witnesses, and so still, if we do win, we're going to change where we're going for dinner. We're going to go to the Park Lane Hilton, to the 2 Michelin star restaurant, and that's what we'll do. That's where we'll be going. But no, like it would be great to see him. Me and Stel. Put it this way, he was at my bar mitzvah when I was 13. He was at my bar mitzvah party. I was in the same class as him, and it's going to be wonderful to reconnect and see him face to face rather than like this. So, and you're going to buy me dinner anyway. Still, I haven't seen you for 20 years. I'm the Canadian dollar. It's crap. You're buying me dinner anyway. I've decided.
I'll need some dinner, so if he wants to buy me some if we win, I'll be.
Yeah, so I'm coming down as well, so you can buy me dinner. You can put. Yeah, you could put Big Boss Man's thingy as well. Big Boss Man is in every thingy, so I do respect his opinions. And yeah, mate, that's what the he says. I've gone from a quirky funny to next. Mate, that's what Spurs does to you, mate. That's what Spurs does to you. But to be fair, Big Boss Man is always on the channels, and might not agree with what he puts on. I know he's fallen out with a couple as well, but he's always there. So big up on you, mate. And I can't be a hypocrite saying I'm anti opinions and put you down. So yeah, big up for always being there, but piss off as well.
We've got Death in the Spotlight. I've said I hope for 1-1, but fear something much worse. Bob, you of that opinion, or a bit more positive, or do you think we could be on the end of a hiding?
I've been on YouTube for going on nearly a year now, just under a year, and I've never bet. I've never gone against Spurs. I've always said a win, so I'm not going to change it now. 2-1. With regards to never with yourself, Chris. Never tempt fate, whatever. Do what my cousin does. Indy, big up, mate. He's a big Spurs fan. He always bets on them to lose. Always puts 10 on them
my team to lose.
So if they win, he's absolutely over the moon. If they lose, he's quids in. So they always
Tottenham Hotspur cost me £250,000 a few years ago.
Who's that?
The first time ever, like a few years ago. I can't remember. I think it might have been Harry Redknapp. I did the Sky Sports Super 6 for the first time. Right. And we were playing West Brom, and we were 2-1 up, and I had every single result right. And in the 88th minute, Sky Sports said, goal at Tottenham. I thought, oh, for God's sake. I was like, if it's gone our way, I don't care. We've won. And I'm okay. And I've lost 250,000 either way. And then it was like 2-2. And I was like, you sodding bastards. Yeah. I was like, you sodding bastards. I never bet. I'm not a betting guy, but I'll never, ever bet on Tottenham. Ever.
Yeah. Well, I'm like you, Bob. We could be 30 games in, no points, bottom of the league. I still think we'd win every game just because. Yeah. And I'm hoping that I was at the City game. That was the loudest I've heard that stadium. It's probably louder than I ever heard White Hart Lane. So I'm hoping that can happen again and drive the team on, and hoping what Brian said doesn't happen if we get to a bad start and the crowd turn. But talking to superstitions, I watched you, Bob, on Judge Jodie on Paxton Road TV, and one of the questions she asked, do you have any superstitions? I've got about 15. I have to get in the seat half hour before the game to just do them all. But they're all things that I've done, and then we won the game, so they've just built up. So they're
go on then. Well, what are they?
I've got to wear my lucky hat. The last shirt that I wore when we won, which is the away kit this year, I have to clap every player on the announcements, even subs. I have to tap the table or the chair 3 times before each half. I have to
OCDs.
It's far beyond that, Brian. It's even worse. God knows how many more as well. But yeah.
But for me, you know what's going to happen? If we lose on Sunday against Chelsea, right, I might have to change my show, right, to do the watch along to make sure we win. I have to change my timing of my show, right, to do the watch along for the Arsenal game, just to make sure we win.
Well, listen to all the superstitions. If we lose on Sunday, it's Chris's fault. from the sound.
That's not the way it works. Like, we won when I did them once, so I have to keep doing them, and any more I find I have to add on. I'll end up having about an hour's worth soon.
So then what happens if we lose, Chris? You have to wipe all those superstitions out and start a new load.
Yeah, but then if I don't do them when we lose the next game, is it because I stopped doing them?
That's it.
That's the bad thing with superstitions. I'm in a rut now. I'm in a no-win, a vicious circle.
So do you know one thing I actually now have to do when I'm watching Spurs in Canada is I've had to learn is in Canada the windows don't open like that. They go like that, and they have like this fly protector thing so flies can't fly in. And we were losing a game, and I got my iPad, and I threw it I literally threw it out the window. And as I threw it, I knew there's this mesh, and it bounced back and fractured one of my ribs. So when I watch Tottenham now, and I'm watching it on my tablet, I have to make sure that I'm like in a place where I can't launch it out a window. I literally threw it with such venom that it's kind of like I was returning a backhand from Federer or something. And you know, you throw it, and then when I did it, I could see it. I was like, "Oh, you're in trouble here," and boom, I fractured my ribs. So
did we at least win the game?
So it was after we lost the game.
Right.
And I just launched it, and I was like, I now have to make sure that when I'm watching the game on my tablet, I'm not my tablet's nowhere that can reach a window, because I'm not going through that again.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the iPad didn't break, right? You fractured your rib. The iPad didn't break.
Stopping the fly things.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping we can win. Like I say, I'm always positive. I'll be in the seat half hour before, tapping chairs and all sorts of business, and wearing my little hat and shirt and everything. Yeah, hopefully see you guys there as well. If you're both going, and a few others as well.
My Gooner mate, and if you're watching, he had lucky pants that he wore at every home game because he wanted to see. But no one told him that he could actually change pants in between games. So you can imagine what it smelled like.
He's like Tommy Cooper with his jokes. He's one line. Or there's a comedian, Bob. Have you seen Gary Delaney, who used to be on Mock the Week?
Yeah.
His one-liners are the funny. That's what you remind me of.
Very deadpan. It's very deadpan, isn't he?
Oh, mate, they're fantastic. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can win. Before we go, you've all got channels. Everyone here is a streamer. Tommy was as well. His stream will be in the description. Eujin, Spursuasian TV. Where can people find that?
Yep. Thanks for having me on, Chris. You can find me on Spursuasian TV YouTube channel, right, guys? If you have the time, subscribe, like, and watch the videos that we've been doing before. Chris is on it, Brian is on it, and Bob's always on it too, right? And of course, don't forget, subscribe to Chris and give him a like, and to the rest of the guys from Tottenham on Tour and Bob Spur TV.
Excellent. Brian, Tottenham on Tour, where can people find that?
Yeah, they can find us at, as I said, Tottenham on Tour. We're doing a show tonight. We normally do the two Brians, but we're not going full extent of that. So what we're doing a stream at 9 o'clock England time, and it's just going to be Brian Ireland, me and my dad, who's making another appearance after his Tottenham away debut. Tottenham away. Why do I keep? We Are Tottenham TV debut with me. And we're just literally going to be doing like a half-hour, 45-minute thing, reviewing. Yes. Oh, my parents have just walked in. Yesterday's game and a little preview for the Chelsea game. So that'll be on Tottenham on Tour tonight at 9 p.m. UK time. But I have to say, Chris, it's been a pleasure being on your show and literally doing it at 12:30 as opposed to 7:30. Made a huge difference.
Yeah. I can't imagine how tough it is waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
and
I have a cat that wakes me up religiously at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I'm
whether
I like it or not. So that makes it easier. But I'm still like, oh my god, it's. But yeah, 12:30 is a lot better.
Yeah. Bob Spur TV. Where can people find that if they don't know?
Yeah. Hey, what we'd do for a pussy 6 o'clock in the morning every morning, eh?
Yes,
I did say a cat, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. It's all right. If you didn't, I'll edit it.
Bob Spur TV got in the wall special, not special tomorrow, but in the wall tomorrow night about 11 o'clock. Looking back at the week and obviously looking forward to the Chelsea game. But I don't know if I've mentioned it. I've got an in the wall special next Saturday, where I will be having not a Levy inner, but a Levy I can't see what all the fuss is about. So he'll be coming on, giving his views. I am going to get someone else on who's along the same lines of thinking ways, because obviously there'll be a few of the regular YouTubers who are very much Levy out. I want it to be a balanced opinion. I'll be there. Everyone knows what my opinion is, but I'm not going to be the one who's going to, put forward my opinion, because it's not a debate then. It's more of a gang up, and I don't want it to be that. Yeah. So that's next week. Should be a good one. I will be promoting it throughout the week. Day after day before show, which will be Monday after the Chelsea game. I might get a couple of Chelsea guys on, especially if we win. But yeah, tomorrow in the wall, 11 o'clock. Next week will be the big one. Not that tomorrow's not going to be any less, but next week will be the big one at 10:30 on the 25th of September for the Levy and Enoch debate special.
Excellent. And I'll be with you, Bob.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh yeah, and Brian will be alongside me. Will be alongside me, yeah. So I have to put calm him down a couple of times. Give him
I said, Bob, I said it when you disappeared, when you had to disappear for a few minutes. And I bigged you up, saying there's for this kind of show, there's no one else I'd rather have like within the whole YouTube community, because the way you do it is fantastic. And I've always said that when we get these people on, I won't attack them personally or physically, and I will be on my best behaviour. Yes, I'm going to be very vocal and have my word, but like we said, everyone is entitled to their opinion, and we are very vocal with ours, and everyone is entitled to it. And if someone can come on and give me a point, and I'm like, do you know what, he's right there, I will say it.
Not even to prove me wrong. Just have just see the opposite opinion. I want to sit there. I don't expect people to turn around after talking to me and say, yeah, you're right, I'm Levy out. No, I don't expect that. But I want them to understand why I'm a Levy and an Enoch out. I don't want to convert them or anything like that. And another thing about opinions, Big Boss Man, you've just fucking completely shut over yourself. I've just bigged you up for coming on, and coming on again for the second time in a month to come up with stupid shit like that. Yeah. Take your shit elsewhere. I know this is Chris's
channel. Show your face on a stream.
Fuck off, mate. Go and fuck off and go at somebody else's channel, because you come on, you talk shit, and you come out with so much bullshit. Honestly, it's doing my head in, and I'm sure it's doing. Chris doesn't need people like that. So go and fuck off, and otherwise you just find yourself blocked off everywhere. You're a stupid little twat. Go and get a fucking knife and a hug. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah. That's all right. Opinions like that, you can have a balanced opinion like that. I've got opinions. I've never ever said my opinion's right. I've just said it's an opinion. Exactly. But then you get people come on and disagree, and then you say, well, this and that, and then they just block you or disappear. So you'll show opinions and a debate. You can have a debate which doesn't involve insults or anything like that, or degrading people. Just an actual debate and listening to two different sides of the story. So I've
just got to say as well, because like I said, I've known Stel for a long time. Stel is a great guy, and he knows his stuff when he talks about coaching. He knows his stuff, and then Bossman, I'm looking at these comments saying, let's have a debate, unblock me, because he's getting blocked right and centre.
I've blocked him on here now. I don't need that content.
But then he comes out and he says a comment like he's had, and I'm not even giving it the dignity of reading it. People can read, and it's like I said, I will talk to people about Levy, and I will criticise, and I will never personally attack anyone. And to use words like he's using is disgraceful.
Especially what Stel's job entails. Man.
Exactly.
Don't come out with shit like that. Fuck off, man. Fuck off.
Well, he's been blocked on. He's been blocked on here now anyway, so he won't be putting any more comments on. But yeah, I mean, like Brian says, if you want to say stuff like that, go on a stream and say it in person. But people won't. But yeah, anyway, thanks guys so much for coming on. Welcome on whenever you want. Tommy as well, who had to go a little bit earlier. But yeah, Spursuasian TV, Tottenham Tour, Bob Spur TV. The links will be in the description on the video and the description on the audio only. Make sure you hit those likes and subscribes. This channel recently got to 100 subscribers. I want more, 200 next. Hit the likes, hit the subscribe, and then when you've done that and watch that, then go over to Spursuasian TV, Tottenham Tour, Bob Spur TV. I've got, like we've said, I've got all of my superstitions for the game. I'm going to be happy on Monday if we do lose for the chat to say it's all your fault. I'll hold my hands up there, but I have to do them. But hopefully, I get chats, comments in there going, well, let me know what those superstitions are, because I need to do them now because we've come off a resounding win against Chelsea. Always have to be positive, but let's hope we can. But yeah.
No, I've just sent you WhatsApp as well, mate. Just read your WhatsApp. Sorry, yeah. Go on, mate.
Sorry. Cool. Yeah. Hopefully we get the win after 2 not great results. Hopefully we can get that win and then get our season back on track. So
yeah.
Chris, I just want to say quickly before you log off. Obviously, we normally talk in the back end for a bit, but I've got to go straight away. I'm going to go see my nephews and my niece. So when we finish off, I won't be here. But I just want to say again, a pleasure being on your show, and as always, Leafy out.
Yeah, welcome on whenever you want, and hopefully I'll see you on Sunday at the ground.
Oh, you will do.
Yeah, excellent.
Take care, bye.
So until then, let's hope we get a win. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on,
you Spurs.
Leave you out.
Leave you out.
Thank you so much for watching. For everybody who participated in the live chat and added comments, before you go, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Anybody who couldn't watch the live video, you can still catch us on YouTube. Add any comments, suggestions or questions to the comments section on the video. Anybody who's listened to the audio-only podcast, thank you so much for listening. Anybody who wants the audio-only podcast, you get this wherever you get your podcast from. Alternatively, if you go to Twitter, @Talk Tottenham, you'll find all the information there. We'll be back soon. We're live Mondays, 8 p.m, Fridays, 12:30 UK time. Until then, come